Have you ever wondered what your landlord does with your money after they slither through your bedroom window and then snatch the month's rent out from underneath your pillow and then scurry away into the night? Well, apparently they use that money to flex on all of the 13-year-old children on TikTok.
So I thought I was doing a lot. I had 60 rental properties and about $10 million in real estate owned.
Yeah, buddy. I would say you're doing quite a lot, considering that $10 million is more than the average person can even visualize in their head. Not me, though. I am incredibly rich and wealthy through perfectly legal and ethical means.
Got 242 units, $32 million in real estate.
The irony of participating in a video like this at a very fancy resort, bragging about how wealthy and successful you are, while wearing a shirt that says "Stay Humble," is insane. It is incredible to me that these gentlemen have as much money as they do, and yet they still have the same sense of style as frat boys that have to split the cost of a Crystal Palace vodka 4 ways. Also, the way that he skips this poor dude in the middle is atrocious. Oh, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to include you because, you know, you're poor. How much real estate do you own? Oh, one house where your loving wife and children live? Lame. Now, I'm kind of cheating with these next few videos technically because this woman is not a landlord, she's actually a real estate agent, but you'll see why I decided to include her in a second. LOL, ROFL, hashtag POV me when families are starving on the streets, hashtag me drinking my wine and stroking my expensive purses, eat dirt pores, I'm quirky and cool. Isn't this so relatable and hashtag girl boss of me? Out of curiosity, I looked up the purse that she was holding in one of those clips during the video, and the price for a used Chanel Caviar Diana shoulder bag, used, is like $12,000. Which, to like put that in perspective, which I feel like the average person doesn't need me to do, but in case you need it, that's like over half a year of rent where I live. Yeah, she very quickly took that video down. She was getting eviscerated in the comment section, which is interesting considering the whole point of the video was about how much she didn't care about other people's opinions. Like, the video was about how much she didn't care that there are tons of people experiencing a housing crisis and just swan diving into a pool of wine and Chanel bags like Scrooge McDuck. So if you like don't care at all what people think, why'd you take the video down, huh? But she doesn't just like showing off her expensive purses. Oh no. She has a whole series of videos where she goes car shopping for extremely expensive luxury brand cars.
So I'm shopping for a new car and a lot of you think I should get the new Range Rover. This is my husband's brand new 2023 Range Rover Sport.
Wait. So you're telling me you already own a Range Rover? Actually, no, it's my husband's. Wait, so he doesn't share with you? That's not very nice.
I love that they redesigned the entire car and that the interior is way more spacious than the last model, which I own.
Wait. So you do already have a Range Rover. Why do you need so many Range Rovers? Are there that many ranges to rove? I thought we paved all of them and turned them into parking lots. Bruh, look at that house. It's got 3 stories. What are y'all, the Von Trapp family? That's the type of house where I expect a butler to greet me at the door and wipe the poverty off of me before I can step over the threshold.
But one thing I don't like, it's surprisingly tight.
Yeah, I bet nobody said that about you, sweetheart. I'm sorry. That was hateful. And I apologize. I am, after all, sitting in my 1-bedroom apartment without Chanel or wine, so please excuse me for my crude peasant behavior. Now, this next video is what really inspired me to record this. It went viral in the worst possible way.
A tip? I'm not tipping my landlord.
So you'll tip a barista who pours overpriced coffee into a cup, but not the guy who's on call 24/7.
You're gonna tip a barista who makes minimum wage, is on their feet all day long, wakes up at 7 a.m. to open, has been screamed at by 5 random white women already today?
It is not illegal to yell here!
and is scrambling to process multiple orders because the location they work at is severely understaffed, but you won't tip me? The guy who will definitely ignore your calls unless they're made Monday through Thursday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.? Oh, come on!
This isn't a restaurant.
Okay, so you'll tip an extra 25% for somebody to carry you a basket of chicken wings, but you won't tip someone who responds for after-hours emergency calls?
You're gonna tip the waitress that makes less than minimum wage, has to multitask the demands of 10 different tables, received a death threat because somebody's burger had a pickle on it even though nobody mentioned that they didn't want pickles, and be hit on aggressively by a customer old enough to be her grandfather, but you won't tip me? The guy who will definitely drag my feet for 7 months just to fix a leaky faucet?
Well, I guess when it's time for your lease renewal, I'm gonna make sure gratuity is included in your rent.
Oh, that's awesome. So, his solution to not being tipped for not offering a service is theft. I'm pretty sure adding gratuity and not notifying the person receiving the bill that you're adding gratuity is kind of super duper illegal. Even restaurants will have like a little notice at the bottom of their receipts if gratuity is included in the bill.
It's a little tip I learned from Two Guys Take on Real Estate.
Committing fraud. It's a little tip that I learned from Two Guys Take on Real Estate. So this next video is very strange. It is a landlord recording himself, calling a tenant of a newly bought property to let her know that he is doubling the rent.
I just wanted to get in touch with you and set times to start repairing the house and talk a little bit about the rent today. You're currently rented for $1,100 in that house, and it's in Miami. It's a pretty low price in today's market. I wanted to see if you wanted to stay there.
Yeah, I was planning on staying, and I have been here for over 10 years.
There's houses in that area going for $2,500. You could take the lower end of $22,200.
Are you kidding me?
Now, first off, I just want to say I am like 90% certain that this video is fake, but that just makes it worse for me because the lighting is so bad. You had all of this time to set up this fake video and you give me bad lighting? If you're gonna lie to me, at least do it in an aesthetically pleasing way, okay? My God.
That has to be a joke. $2,500. That's over double my current rent. I can't afford that. I have kids and I'm already working 2 jobs as it is. Where do you want me to go now?
The reason I think that this video is fake, the woman on the other end of the phone sounds like super scripted. Like she sounds like she's being actively fed lines from a teleprompter. Either way, it's still weird. The guy's account is used to like promote tips and tricks of being a landlord and I assume make himself look good in the process. But his fictional scenario that he makes up is him kicking a single mother with 2 jobs to the curb. Like, is this rage bait? Like, I don't really know.
I might as well burn the house down at this point so nobody gets anything.
If you don't want to stay there for that price, I'm gonna have to put a 30-day notice. You could leave peacefully on time.
Look, I'm calling my brothers and I dare you to try to pull up and give us the eviction notice.
I'm sorry guys. It's just really hard to, it's just really hard to watch this because he's just a landlord doing his job and just trying to make a profit, and like all he's doing is ruining her life. Like, why does she have to be so mean?
Sir, I literally don't care what you think. You can try to evict me if you want. I'm not leaving. Good luck. Oh, and I changed the locks too, by the way.
I really wanted to work something out, but if not, I'm just gonna come back with the sheriff.
Yep, that's the end of the video. Just him saying, well, I'm such a nice guy, and I really don't want to have to do this, but I guess I'm gonna have to call the cops, and they're gonna come and they're gonna put your toddler in itty-bitty handcuffs. Another example of a landlord literally squeezing every last cent possible out of their tenants is this poor guy who's being charged pet rent even though he literally does not have a pet.
So my landlord, what are you doing here? This is your fault. So my landlord is charging me a pet fee because he says that I have a cat. And that's a street cat. You saw him, that's a street cat. So basically, he saw me feeding the cat. But guess what? So does everyone else. Food and water.
I like to imagine that the cat and the landlord are like conspiring together on this. Like the cat is actually the landlord's and the landlord has like trained the cat to just scratch on people's doors and beg for food. And then he watches from some bushes with binoculars, and the moment one of his tenants shows even an inkling of basic human kindness to this cat, he just jumps out of the bushes and he's like, gotcha! Not to mention, my whole thought process was that, like, the idea behind pet rent is that if you have a pet in your rented space, that if that pet does damage, the landlord then can use that money to repair the damage that your pet caused. But this guy hasn't let the animal into his house, so, like, what is the charge for? Hey, I noticed that I got a pet fee, except that there has literally never been a pet in this apartment. Can you explain that? Yes, that is for emotional damage. Oh, emotional what? Well, actually, it's quite simple. So when I saw you having that happy moment with that cat from the bushes that I watch you from, what? It reminded me of the trauma of when I was a little bitty landlord child, and I asked my mother for a cat, and she said no. So that is for emotional damage. So your emotional damage is worth $300? $300.87, that's correct.
This is a story about when I sued my landlord while I was in college. But the first red flag was that the security deposit was $10K. So it would snow, he would shovel super early in the morning. We would do that for months, and at the end of our lease, he charged us $100 for every time he came over to shovel the snow.
This dude is so incredibly bold. Like, imagine trying to apply this logic to literally any other scenario. Hey, so I noticed that you often leave your children unsupervised in the backyard, so I just took the initiative to watch them play for you. Excuse me, what? I didn't ask you to do that. So yeah, since I've been providing you with childcare services for the past 3 months, you actually owe me $900. Wait, you've been watching my kids?
911, what's your emergency? One of the roommates actually passed away during our lease. We had to replace the person on the lease. He charged us a few $100s for that.
Hey, sorry. I heard that your roommate died. I imagine that was very traumatizing. But you know what is even more traumatizing? Finding a replacement for your lease. Is that gonna be cash or check? But sometimes landlords do even worse things than doubling your rent or coming up with ridiculous, fraudulent charges. Sometimes they sneak into your home and they do very questionable things.
Red alert! Looks like we got ourselves a sniffer, boys.
Is it bad for me to say that our white trash brother here looks like the type of person that would enter a woman's home without permission and sniff her belongings? Well, thank God somebody walked in. I don't even want to know what he was gonna do with the laundry basket. But hey, we've been ragging on men for a while. Let's check in on those sexy landladies.
Because this is not what I expected of you!
Okay. This is pretty intense.
I was fixing it. Yes, you tell me what's intense about this.
If I hadn't read the caption, I would have immediately assumed that this is the girl's mom. I mean, she is just tearing into her and scolding her like she's a child.
I just don't
think... Take a picture.
I think it's...
So this whole freak out is apparently over some book on paganism that this landlady accidentally found when totally not snooping through this girl's belongings.
I think it's really inappropriate that you're looking through all our stuff.
It fell over. Okay, I'm moving this
That's
over
really
here.
inappropriate.
You can see it's fallen over.
Ah, the good old fell over excuse gets them every time. Hey, are you taking a picture of my driver's license, both sides of my debit card, and my Denny's gift card? Oh no, I totally understand why you would think that, but they just fell over.
But make sure he does never enter this house again.
You really need to relax right now. You're making it really uncomfortable.
So this woman is literally telling her tenant that she is not allowed to bring a specific guest over because that guest might believe in paganism. I'm pretty sure that counts as religious discrimination and is super duper illegal.
But you said I'm allowed to have guests.
Sure, call the police and I'll show them this.
I never said I was gonna call the police. What? Why would I call
the police would allow Trinity Christian student have something like this in here?
I love this woman. She is so deranged. She legitimately believes that if cops are called, she can just tell them that this evil, evil girl brought a book on paganism into her house, and the cops are just gonna take her side. Sorry, we weren't gonna arrest you, but then we learned that you didn't believe in our good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, so our hands are tied and yours are about to be behind your back.
I guess it's mine. I'm a pagan. Ooh, witches and stuff.
Yeah, let's make fun.
Yeah.
Let me take a picture of you making fun.
Let me take a picture of you making fun is such a deranged and hilarious threat. Like, should I do a making fun pose? Make sure you get my good side, ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
take care of your dog because they use them in rituals.
Then she says something about pagans sacrificing dogs, and I'm sure the dog is like, oh my god, why am I being dragged into this? I don't understand how property value works. I didn't sign a contract. I can't sign a contract. I don't have hands. But I don't think any of the crazy entitled landlords that we've covered come even close to this guy.
Think your landlord sucks?
Well, at least they aren't forcing you to have sex with them as part of your lease. According to a new lawsuit, a Las Vegas landlord forced a homeless mother of 5 to sign a sex agreement as part of her lease, and then threatened to evict her when she didn't comply.
The agreement also includes other creepy shit like promising she doesn't have a boyfriend or a parent who is larger or meaner than the landlord or who owns a gun.
Can you imagine having such a low level of game, negative game, if you will, that you have to contractually trap a poor single mother into being your girlfriend by threatening to take away the basic necessity of housing from her? Well, thank you everyone for watching. I hope your landlords are a lot nicer than the ones in this video, and I'll see you all. Hey, what are you doing in my house?